Imagine that you are going to the beach. You've been looking forward to this deserved vacation all year. Finally, it's your time to chill. You've been soaking up the sun's warmth, and now it's time for a refreshing dip in the sea. You swim out a good distance from the shore before you look down to see an underwater cliff. It's beautiful, but at the same time terrifying, so you decide to head back to where the water isn't so deep. On your way back, you see a bunch of fish zipping under you towards the shallow water. You don't think much of it. But then suddenly, you feel the water pulling you with such force that you can't swim out of, and then everything goes pitch black. Today, we're diving into the astonishing accounts that seem like they're straight out of legends, being swallowed by a whale. But these aren't just stories. We'll reveal real-life instances where people have been engulfed and lived to share their experiences. These are the harrowing tales of those who've been eaten alive. Being eaten alive by a whale is a tale as old as time. Sailors have always told tales about someone they saw being eaten by a whale, and sometimes they even told how they got away. But is there any truth in such stories? Let's take a look at 3 types of whales that exist that could perhaps eat people. The blue whale holds the title of the largest creature on Earth that we're aware of. This marine giant can measure up to 100 feet or 30 meters long and tip the scales at about 200,000 pounds or 90,000 kilograms. Even if you found yourself in a blue whale's mouth by some wild chance, the possibility of being eaten is practically non-existent. Instead of teeth, blue whales have baleen plates which work like a sieve to scoop up tiny krill from the water. So, there's no risk of being chewed up. Plus, their throats are narrow, roughly 9 inches or 23 centimeters across, making swallowing anything your size highly unlikely. If you were scooped up by a blue whale, it's safe to say you'd likely be promptly spit out. However, it's not without danger. The sheer power of a blue whale's tongue and the roof of its mouth could easily crush you, potentially breaking bones. Next up are the humpback whales. These whales are celebrated for their impressive size and fascinating behavior, such as leaping out of the water and making intricate songs. A humpback whale can reach about 50 feet or 15 meters in length and weigh as much as 40 tons or 36,000 kilograms. Like blue whales, humpbacks are also filter feeders. They have baleen plates, not teeth, and they use them to sift small fish and krill from the ocean waters. Although they have slightly larger throats compared to blue whales, the outcome of being inside a humpback whale's mouth would likely be the same. You'd be ejected, possibly with a few bruises or other injuries. Humpback whales aren't equipped to eat anything as large as a person, so their instinct would be to let you go. Just being inside their mouth could be risky because of their size and power, but being swallowed, that's not something they're capable of when it comes to humans. But then, there are sperm whales. These ocean dwellers tell a very different tale. Sperm whales, unlike their baleen-equipped relatives, are true predators of the deep. They can reach lengths of up to 60 feet, or 18 meters, and are the largest toothed whales in the world. Their teeth are formidable. Each can be as long as a human hand. Sperm whales are carnivorous and have adapted to hunt large prey. Their most famous battles are with giant squids, mysterious creatures that dwell in ocean depths. It's believed that these epic encounters have driven the squids to live even deeper in the sea, to escape the mighty jaws of the sperm whales. Now let's imagine the highly improbable scenario where you're swallowed by a sperm whale. If by some incredible twist of fate you found yourself in its stomach and you were still alive and able to breathe, let's say through some miraculous supply of air, the environment would be hostile to say the least. It's dark, devoid of air, and the acids would begin to break down the tissues and proteins in the body, essentially digesting them as they would the whale's natural prey. Exposure to such a harsh environment, even for a short time, would be fatal due to the damage to the skin and internal organs. On the other hand, if somehow you stayed in its mouth and it dove to where it normally stands, you would die from the immense pressure of the sea depth. This means that no matter what, the chances of surviving after being eaten by this type of whales would be nearly zero. Whales in general are not known to target humans as food. However, considering the deadly outcome of being swallowed by a sperm whale, it's unlikely we would hear many stories from survivors. Despite this, there have been a few alarming instances where individuals have found themselves inside a whale's mouth and lived to tell the tale. Let's look into the incredible story of Rainer Schimpf, a man with a profound connection to the ocean. As a marine conservationist and experienced diver, Rainer has spent more than 2 decades exploring the underwater world. In 2019, his dedication to the sea brought him to the waters off the coast of Port Elizabeth, South Africa, on a day that would become unforgettable. Rainer was there for a specific event, the Sardine Run. It's one of the ocean's most spectacular phenomena, where billions of sardines spawn, attracting scores of marine hunters. His mission was to document this natural marvel, a bustling snapshot of marine life in motion. As predators swirled in a dance of nature, Rainer was in the midst of the action, capturing every moment. Then, without warning, everything went dark. I was trying to get a shot when I felt something bump me, and everything went completely dark, Rainer later recounted. Engulfed in darkness, Rainer had been swallowed by a bride's whale. He knew immediately what had happened. There was no time for fear or any emotion, he said. I knew instantly what had happened. I knew a whale had taken me. In those few seconds, Rainer remained calm, his experience as a diver coming to the forefront. I held my breath, expecting the whale to dive and release me much deeper in the ocean, he explained. But the whale had other plans. Sensing the mistake, it quickly surfaced. With a burst of light and motion, Rainer was free. The next thing I knew, I was looking at the sky above the water, he described the moment of release. It was over as soon as it began. Rainer surfaced, gasping for air, but remarkably unscathed. Back on the boat, his team checked him for injuries. Miraculously, he had none. I don't think I had a whale of a time, but I'm grateful to be here and not inside, Rainer joked afterwards. His brush with the giant of the sea didn't deter his spirit. It gives me an intense connection with nature, he said, and an immense respect for these creatures. Then we have Michael Packard, a seasoned lobster diver whose love for the sea is matched only by his respect for its power. With 40 years of diving experience, Michael's life has been dedicated to the depths, where the ocean floor off the coast of Cape Cod is his workplace. On a clear June morning in 2021, Michael slipped into the cool blue waters, expecting another day harvesting lobsters. As he descended that day, the ocean was teeming with life, a sign of a healthy ecosystem he had grown to cherish. While collecting lobsters in his dive gear, Michael experienced the unthinkable. All of a sudden, I felt this huge shove, and the next thing I knew, it was completely black. He had been scooped up by a humpback whale in a case of mistaken identity during the whale's breakfast rush. Engulfed in darkness, Michael's initial thought was a shark attack, but the absence of pain and sharp teeth made him realize he was inside a whale's mouth. I could sense I was moving, and I could feel the whale squeezing with the muscles in his mouth, he described the harrowing encounter. He thought about his boys, his family, and his determination to survive surged. I thought to myself, there's no way I'm getting out of here, I'm done, I'm dead. But he didn't give up hope. After 40 agonizing seconds, the whale surfaced and with a forceful shake of its head, ejected Michael back into the light of day. Gasping for air and in disbelief, Michael was back in the world of the living, pulled from the jaws of a story that seemed like a seafarer's myth. His fellow crewmen quickly pulled him to safety. I saw light, and he started throwing his head side to side, and the next thing I knew I was outside, he recounted about the moment he was freed. Astonishingly, he emerged with only a dislocated knee and a newfound sense of awe for the creatures of the sea. These stories are well documented and might seem amazing, but they are nothing compared to the next one. Let's turn back the pages of history to the tale of James Bartley, a story steeped in maritime legend from the year 1891. Bartley was a sailor aboard the whaling ship Star of the East, navigating the waters near the Falkland Islands in pursuit of the ocean's giants. The tale begins when a whale was spotted and the chase ensued. 2 longboats were launched from the ship to pursue and harpoon the whale. Bartley was on the first longboat that approached the massive creature. As the whale struggled violently, after being struck by the harpoon, it thrashed, causing chaos on the water. Without warning, the whale's massive tail sent their boat flying, and Bartley, along with another man, went missing in the turmoil. The ocean calmed as the crew awaited news, but there was no sign of Bartley. The expedition was still successful, and after several hours, the whale was killed. The crew then set about the grim task of harvesting the whale. It was then, amidst the butchering of the behemoth, that the unexpected occurred. Inside the whale's stomach, the crew was astonished to see movement. As they cut it open, a man emerged. This was none other than James Bartley. Bartley had spent a total of 15 hours inside the whale. As a result, he only regained full consciousness about a month later. He lost all his hair, his skin was bleached white, and he also went blind. Despite all this, he became a living legend. Though many aspects of James Bartley's adventure have been debated by historians and scientists, the narrative has endured. It serves as a reminder of humanity's long fascination with the sea and the creatures within it. The ocean is full of secrets and surprises. We've heard incredible stories of people who were swallowed by whales and lived to tell about it. But think about this. There might be many other stories we'll never hear because those people weren't so lucky. So, the next time you're staring out at the sea, remember that for all the stories we know, there could be many more that remain hidden. Because after all, the chances of being eaten by a whale are low, but never zero. Thank you for watching. If you like this documentary-style video, make sure to subscribe and take a look into our deep dive into the Kraken.